I haven't been following Chinese politics for a minute because, the daily farce in America already distressed the shit out of me. But yesterday, I accidentally wandered to that side of the internet, and wow, a lot is going on beneath the quiet facade of the Chinese Communist Party. I almost couldn't believe my eyes. The CCP has this Central Military Commission, which consists of the president and a number of top generals. It used to be a larger body, but Xi reduced the size to 7, probably for the purpose of power concentration. So just him and 6 top generals commanding the entire Chinese military. And I just learned that in the last year and a half or so, 3 out of those top 6 generals got purged. Well, that scale of the purge is not news in the Xi era. He just loves to move things around. But this time it's a little different. First, these 3 people were purged but not replaced. It's been 7 months since the latest purge, and the Central Military Commission is still half empty, with only 4 members including the president. That is new. Well, if you check their website, it still shows 5 names because one of the purged members has not been formally charged. He just disappeared from the meetings and everyone knows he's gone. So there are actually only 4 left in the commission. Xi and 3 generals. By the way, the guy wasn't formally charged probably because his position was too high. So he was one of the 2 vice chairmen of the Central Military Commission. Basically, the top spot of the Chinese military. So when you purge someone that high up, you need to be really careful about messaging. You want the allegations to be just serious enough to justify the removal, but you don't want them to be serious enough to damage the image of the party. So you see what I mean? If you say he took some bribes, that should be okay. But if you say he killed a mistress, it will be a little too sensational for the Communist Party's taste. So it's a fine balancing act. And the CCP is very good at this game, but it still takes time. They need to build an airtight case which can send this person to jail without implicating people that the party wants to keep. So until the message is ready, they can't formally erase his name. But the other 2 guys got charged more than a year ago. How come they're still not replaced? Isn't it awkward to just remove the seats together with the people? Hey, you're fired. Oh, and we're turning your office into storage. What? Which leads to the second strange thing about this round of the purge. So all the 3 removed Central Military Commission members had been handpicked by Xi himself not long ago. They all had career intersections with Xi and were considered his key allies. So why did they get the boot? So only 2 possibilities. Either President Xi regretted his judgment on those 3 people, or someone else behind the scene pressured him to remove them. And based on the rumors I read so far, the second theory is gaining ground. Actually, this is why I hate researching Chinese politics. Well, apart from the fear of being purged from TikTok, main reason is that there are no reliable sources. Everything is a guessing game. Every media report comes from anonymous sources, sometimes second-hand rumors. So you have to rely a lot on your gut feelings. So even when I was doing my PhD in political science, I didn't write any paper about China. I was just so tired of guessing. But in this case, I do want to take an educated guess because it's pretty exciting. So if Xi himself had made all the purging decisions, he should have been able to replace them easily. In fact, he should have had the replacement in mind before the purge. That's how you play the game. So the fact that so many of his own appointees got removed without replacement clearly suggests that there were other forces at the top circle that he couldn't quite dominate. When Xi removed the presidential term limit a few years ago, I thought the game was over. I thought he would just be the paramount leader without challenge in the foreseeable future. I mentioned it a few times before. And it looks like I was wrong. And I'm happy I was wrong because things can get interesting. Sorry, I have to cite some more rumors, but those are the only thing I got. So some highly unreliable sources, including Fox News, talked about the rumors that Xi may be forced into a power-sharing arrangement during the CCP Central Committee meeting that will happen in 2 weeks. So he's currently holding 3 top positions: the General Party Secretary, the President, and the Chairman of the Central Military Commission. And they say that he may have to give up 1 or 2 of them. Well, because of the quality of the sources, I'm not holding my breath. But considering the fact that he lost so many allies in the military without replacement, these rumors are not entirely baseless. If it happens, it will probably be the first piece of good political news I've heard in a long time. Of course, China will still be a scary dictatorship either way, but a collective dictatorship is way less scary than a personal dictatorship, because the policy won't be determined by a single person's impulses. Just look what Putin's personal rule has done. Right? That dude is not dumb. Okay, a KGB officer who rose to the top in the new regime and purged everyone in his way. He's smart, all right? But look at the damage he's done. His impulsive behavior not only destroyed life in Ukraine, not only destroyed the post-World War II consensus that countries don't rob territories from each other, but he also destroyed the whole generation of his own people. So he lost more troops in Ukraine than the US lost in World fucking War II. That's what an unchecked, personalized dictatorship can achieve. So it doesn't matter how smart a guy is. If his impulses are unchecked and unconstrained by other humans, he's gonna go mental sooner or later. It's a matter of time. That's why I'm so excited to see all these rumors from China. If China can break away from a personalized political god, anyone can, including Russia, including America.